Last time on Wanderlust.
I think I'd follow him to the edge of town. My goal is to see if I can figure anything out about his guards, who I don't necessarily think are fully autonomous outside of Lance.
And then he just takes a step back and goes, "Defend me." And as soon as he says that, like, his eyes glow a bright, vibrant green. Your face changes immediately as two, like, for lack of a better term, like, scarecrow-looking figures just grow out of the ground, snapping their legs off and start stalking towards you, made of, like, dry, dead reeds, like, grabbing at you and trying to wrestle you to the ground.
This is how the wilds changed him.
Autumn, I used to be from a place like this. Do you understand that? Now the place that I am from is much worse. There is a reason that I have to travel with scarecrows. There is a reason why I am scared to tell you where the few people that still remain alive and are dear to me live. It's because I don't know you're not dangerous. I think that being frustrated with something is kind of a necessary part of loving it. Otherwise, you're just allowing it to fester.
Yeah, that doesn't seem fun, though.
Do you just want to say you're talking about Willow, or do we have to, like, keep circling it? Because it's weird. Like, I understand what you're trying to get at here.
I think this is, like, her, like, nightly thing is just, like...
Just really spiraling.
I guess it would be spiraling. She's, like, still thinking about the heart of the wild, and is like, I've missed something in this book. Wait, can you bring the candle, like, don't hit the journal, but can you bring it a little bit closer?
Mitchell grabs, like, a jar and kind of puts it around the flame of the candle and puts it close, so that way you can almost be touching it, but it can't catch the book on fire, you know?
And so she starts, like, moving it around to see the map more.
We've talked about, not in the middle of the night, no.
No, I think this is middle of the night worthy. I'm just gonna go talk to Juliet real quick.
Oh,
I'll
come
be right
on!
back.
I mean, look, really?
Yes, no, really.
Earlier that day, that the evening of, Estelle and Mitchell were sitting in bed looking at the book, and then went to go off to get Juliet in the middle of the night. Earlier that day, Autumn, continuing on with Autumn's big day, you had a boot that you had gotten from Lance. You decided not to give it back, but instead kept it.
It slipped my mind when I was being pummeled by scarecrows. Sorry.
You're a little bit bloodied, a little beat up.
At the same time, though, she did tell Lance about it, and he didn't take it, so...
He was forgetful as he was pummeling her with scarecrows. But, anyways, you have an object that came from Lance's settlement, and you make your way over to Fred's workshop.
Knock on Fred. Well, I guess I walk into Fred's workshop. Hey, Fred, you here?
No, Fred's not there. No, just kidding.
He's not there. Okay. End scene.
Just derail the game. Is Fred going to be in the next scene? Yeah. Fred's not there. Hi, Autumn. What do I owe the pleasure of the visit?
I want you to lick this, and she hands you a shoe.
Okay. I guess that's an odd thing. Well, what is it? Where did this come from?
Oh, it comes from Lance? I should probably explain better. I think it would be good if we could get something leverage, something to remind Lance of his humanity. Any information we can get on Lance seems like a good idea. This is the boot from one of his goons. You can see the past of things.
Yeah, definitely can't do that, but I'm kind of on decent-ish terms with Lance at the moment. I don't know if I really want to upset that.
How would this upset that? How would he know that you figured this out? He doesn't know your powers.
It's a good point. But I don't think I want to be licking that because it still looks like it's got mud on it. I'll lick this instead. And he licks his little, like, magnet grabbery thing.
Okay.
Because I just cleaned it and polished it and it's all nice. And I got this from Lance, by the way.
I like the idea of you licking that, and then you just get, like, a memory of a wax manufacturing plant because you said you polished it.
So I licked the wax instead.
Yeah.
You get the life of a bee.
So, I will say these are two different objects and they don't necessarily tell you the same things, but you lick this thing and you feel yourself, like, immediately falling back again, right? Like, sort of how it happened before, right? Where you sort of feel like you're falling into a dark tunnel and you can see, like, flickerings of, like, briefly remembered snatches of memory. In this case, you can, like, almost feel yourself being a part of a mountain getting split open by explosives to reveal the ore that got smelted into all of the, raw materials that made this gauntlet. You see brief snatches of, like, an assembly line where parts are being stamped out of that material, this being one of them. You see the face of a young man who greatly resembles Lance in a formal military uniform being given this on, like, some kind of, like, graduation or something like that. Like, this is, like, part of a ceremonial uniform that was given to a young Lance. You can feel, like, the giddiness of a young person that gets a new toy and is having fun with it as objects are flying around Lance and he's using this thing to pull anything and everything around to him, and, like, laughter of friends as him and others are sitting up in a barracks room just, like, pulling random junk across the room because they finally got these things that they think are cool and are playing with them and laughing. And that memory kind of sticks a little bit more. Oh, by the way, did you spend a fate point on this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just so you know, you have to spend a fate point.
Yep.
As that memory sticks a little bit more and solidifies in your head as it, like, the barracks comes into sharper focus, details clarify. If you remember from the other thing that you licked, this puts you in the mind of the person that owned the object, right? So in this case, that would be Lance. So you kind of come to, and as you are, like, coming to this memory, there is a woman maybe in her, like, early 20s sitting in, like, on a bed in the barracks, like, across from you, and she's, like, midway through a conversation as she just goes, "Does being off planet make you nervous at all, or are we just gonna pretend like that's not terrifying for you?"
I was debating whether I try to emulate Lance's voice in this or not.
I want to know what you think Lance's voice sounds like. That would be funny for me, but you don't have to.
Gosh, I forgot I was going to have to do this as part of this. Can't really prepare for this.
Hence the improv part of RPGs.
Yeah, that's the I in RPG. It's RPG.
I'm about as good at spelling as a crazed doctor in the wilderness is.
I mean, it's someone new to explore. Someone new to see, right?
Well, we hope that's why all of us joined up. I'm certain for some of us, maybe it was compensation, access to better technology. You know, there is a downside of being in the military, but you do get to play with the coolest technology, and in your case, you get to go off planet, which is pretty cool. So I'm jealous, but I think I would also be afraid to be on a different planet as my first posting. Although look at you, you're a big lieutenant now. Do you think you're going to want to come back home? Do you think you're going to miss, and she kind of like gestures around at the room and herself, all of this?
Oh, for sure.
She stands up and walks over and wraps her arms around you, and you feel her like kind of squeeze you tight and goes, "Just don't forget about us, okay?" And the barracks blurs and fades. There's flickering memories of Lance on a ship. You feel like gravity pressing into your body. You see an expanse of stars, and then you're standing in a very pristine, formal office. There is an old man sitting across from you. His uniform is extremely well pressed, beautiful. Everything looks perfect. And he's just staring at you with judgment clearly written on his face. I am shocked that you would not have known that you should have already put a team together. If you're going to be the lead scientist on this expedition, I expect you to take these responsibilities seriously.
Yes, sir. I understand, sir.
I hope so. Don't speak to me again until you have put in the correct requests for more personnel, until we know that this new scientific research outpost is fully functioning. And please make your reports readable for those of us that are not blessed with an overabundance of education. You are dismissed. You feel like the sad dread of being dismissed by a superior as you leave and walk out into a new planet whose plant life feels wrong to you. The sky looks wrong. There's too many planets. There's not enough moons. Everything is wrong in the sky on this new place that will be your home for a while. Pictures in your mind skip again as you see yourself writing at a desk, this gauntlet in view as you're putting in for a team, and the name on the top of the list is who would be good on this team is Tira, and you recognize that as the person who was in the barracks talking to you before in the previous memory. There's a feeling of elation as you see your friends landing, friends that you spent a great deal of your education with, finally coming to this outpost to help you on your first mission. On the one hand, your superior is a pain. On the other hand, you get to be here with friends, which feels good. The memories skip, and there's a long space of darkness.
So, Cody, real quick, before you say this scene, knowing what we know about Lance and knowing my history of you and me and game stuff, as soon as you introduced the female character in barracks that seemed friendly with Lance, I was like, they're all going to die.
As the memories come back, you see that settlement that at first was this new research facility. You see in Pandemonium, you see the Blighthounds, if you remember from way back when, tearing through, throwing people in the air, these massive creatures. You hear shouts, you see blaster fire as people are getting torn off. There's circling massive birds swooping down, grabbing people. It's just total chaos. And the next memory is Lance standing at attention inside of that old officer's office again that is still pristine. I would expect you, Captain Lance, to have done a better job of maintaining some sense of military decorum during these unpleasant events.
Is captain higher or lower than lieutenant?
It would be higher.
Okay. I don't know military rank, really.
Poor Carl crying as he told you that he's a captain, and you're like, that's lower than lieutenant, right? He's like, no!
I think it also depends on what branch you're into.
I just didn't know where lieutenant falls on the whole hierarchy.
It's the first one, yeah. If you're an officer, I believe, when you are actually, made an officer, you start as a lieutenant.
I just know everything about military rank from MASH, so doctors start as a captain.
I'm sorry, sir. These things were too much for us.
That is no excuse. We are here on a mission, and you are to discover relevant resources and what's the right term that people like you use? We need things that can make us more powerful. We need technology to advance. We need to justify the insane cost of you and your team being here and the cost in life of all the people that have died defending you and your team. Well, you've been here showing very few results.
Sure, give me a grilling. I don't have a good response to a lot of that.
That's the military.
Yeah. May I speak freely for a moment, sir?
It seems that that's all you do.
It sucks here. There's all these creatures that are tearing us apart, and we just do not have the power to deal with it out here.
I understand. This mission is beyond you. I will tell you what, as soon as another spaceship lands here, you are welcome to get on it and leave. And I will find a replacement who is willing to do their job, but until such time as another spaceship lands here, you are to continue doing your job without excuse or complaint. Dismissed. And the memory fades. It comes back up to this gauntlet on the... Did you guys straight up turn it... Did, like, the town straight up start turning into trees when they were, like, getting rooted into the ground?
People did.
They started growing into the ground, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could not move them from where they were in the wild, in the ruins, like Matthew and Willow,
You see Tira, her feet growing into the ground, her body, like, slowly solidifying into bark, and, like, branches beginning to sprout from her flesh, just staring up at the sky, mouthing soundlessly, as Lance turns and on the ground next to her sees, like, two bodies of people that he requested to be here, and starts making his way towards, like, the gates of this settlement. As he's walking out, you just hear shouted from behind that shrill voice of the officer going, I don't care if you believe you have to go on some walk for self-discovery. You leaving will be seen as you being derelict in your duties and abandoning your post. And the gate slams shuts behind as Lance walks off on his long walk. And you feel yourself kind of like drop back down into your office, having just licked this gauntlet.
So I'm kind of curious, does time pass at all for Fred after you do it, or is it instantaneous?
I don't think so. I think this would be instantaneous. Yeah, I don't think that this would be like you've been asleep for 30 minutes. I think that this would be instant.
Like has Autumn been sitting here waiting on Fred for like an hour?
I think maybe like a few moments, but it's more like you reel and then have like, oh geez, like all this stuff just got dumped into my head, you know? Like you experienced it a little bit more linearly, but it is just kind of like dropping all of this information into your brain all at once.
So, does it take a while? Do I have to wait here? Should I pull out a book?
No, it's done. I already.
Oh, that fast?
Yeah, it's decently fast, and that was not pleasant.
I can't imagine licking something and then seeing all the memories of an object ever being pleasant.
Not so much that. I kind of feel bad for Lance now.
Oh, how so?
He's had a rough go of it, and more ways than one.
I figured. I don't think you have an easy go of it if you end up on the long walk.
Yeah, we had some similar experiences with the wilds messing with our lives and causing mayhem.
Fred, two of us died.
Yeah, did you also have someone? Did you also have a superior officer blaming you for the whole thing?
She looks like in the direction of town hall. Yes. Very specifically, yes.
It didn't feel the same though.
Okay, like explain it to me. I'm here. I didn't see the vision, Fred. I don't. You're just describing my life to me, is what I have heard so far.
Somewhere up in the sky, you just hear someone go, "We're not so different, you and I."
I guess is more that it just he had constant heat on him the whole time, even before he left for here, I guess. And I don't know, it felt a lot more serious than anything we faced from the town.
Is there someone in there that you think we can that we can trust, who won't just screw us over the first chance we get? Or, as he'll put it, when it's convenient?
I don't know if I have an answer to that. it's hard to see fully into the mind of someone when I do this thing. I kind of have to act out as them, and I don't always know if I'm doing it right. It's a weird interaction.
Well, did you get anything that would be helpful for us all to know? Like anything we need to worry about that Lance can do, or his town is available?
Did I get any sense of where their settlement is?
Ooh.
Because that was kind of the point of this, right?
Not necessarily. But I will say I will allow it in that you saw surrounding geography while Lance was leaving, but that's going to be like a roll to see how well you put that together.
Okay. Would that be notice?
We can do notice, yeah.
Oh, I actually rolled well. That's a 3.
Yeah, my goal was to get any information we could about Lance.
So this is kind of fun. We get to play a little game. The geography was a wetland. They were on a river and near a lake.
Gotta go look at our map.
Yep.
Which color was the wetland again?
The blue-green by us in the bottom left.
Wow, they could be really on top of us with that lake that's not far. They could be either close or decently far. Well, I guess no, I think they're that close one. Because the other one's not really in wetland.
Yeah, so Fred will relay that information, but not necessarily know exactly where that is. He can relay the information of, oh, this is the type of geography, but he's not a cartographer.
Yeah, I guess it's specifically, technically, the two of you actually haven't seen that map yet, but, you know.
Oh, yeah. No, I figure it'll be a conversation later on when we have stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was one more thing that kind of explained him a little more. There's definitely at least someone he cares about. Don't know if it's a girlfriend, a wife, a friend. I'm not entirely sure. And I don't know exactly what happened to her. She was turned into a tree like a lot of our friends here did. And I don't know what happened after his long walk.
What was her name?
It's Tira.
Autumn jots that down mentally.
I'd be careful, though, how you use this information, because if you start using this with him, he's going to start getting very suspicious, and I don't know how that will go.
He's always suspicious? I'll be careful, Fred. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd say I trust him, but I don't distrust him either, if that makes any sense. It's like, I think he's just trying to survive, like we all are.
I understand that, but I think he puts his survival above everyone else. And that's not to say that people don't have lists of who's important to them, but I think he views the lowest person in his civilization as more important than the entirety of ours.
And I guess I could see how you feel that way. I guess I haven't had those type of interactions with him.
I mean, he killed Juliet.
I thought Juliet killed him.
You know that gunshot wound she said she had?
So they killed each other?
Yes.
That is accurate, yeah, kind of.
Fred was a little under the weather himself, shall we say, at the time.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
He was like high on painkillers because his whole chest was messed up.
No, it wasn't. He turned into a tree.
He did. He was like high for some reason.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Is he was so injured, and then the next morning he had turned into like the tree chest.
Yeah,
and he was fine then, right? Like
after that, yeah.
By that point, yeah, but not immediately after.
Yeah, the kind of aftermath of that whole once we got back to town is kind of fuzzy. I just kind of had the new powers, and I kind of like, whatever. And you guys have your own stories.
I get that. That's understandable. Like, I was also dead or whatever in a weird place. But it feels weird to me that you're saying I should understand Lance's story, Fred, and, like, view him as, like, with all this empathy, when you don't even remember what happened to your close friends in town?
He was dead. He was like shot.
Autumn can be upset about this.
I mean, I can only really go on what I experienced myself, right? I didn't experience what Juliet experienced or what you experienced, and I know what I just experienced, and I feel kind of bad for him.
All right, I will use this information cautiously, Fred. Thanks for the help.
And no problem. Need anything made while you're here?
I think I'm good right now. I don't have anything on my mind.
All right. Well, if you ever need a new sword or axe or something, you know where to find me.
The energy of this, just so you know, was so much the Lego movie, where it's like, do we need a spaceship? And the guy's like, already built a spaceship. And they're like, no, we don't need a spaceship. And he's like, yeah, all right, I want to build a spaceship anyways. Just knock that over. Fred, like, do you want me to build you something? Like, no, I don't need anything right now. Like, I can just put all my tools away, then I guess just turn off the forge. Continuing Autumn's big day. Autumn.
Oh, me again.
Yes. You make your way to... Where would you like to try to meet Willow? Like, where do you want to try to find her?
I assume that Willow's super busy with running in the town, right? Like, she's not as free as she used to be.
Yes.
So my thought is, like, Autumn will, like... My thought is that Willow has, like, a certain time she's usually home by. And Autumn will, like, have, like, a nicer dinner made for her, which is, like, not so, you know, like...
Oh, okay.
She's not pretending to sleep or anything, or, like, conveniently out when she gets back, you know, like... So she's not, like, trying to, like, corner Willow at a bad time. She's trying to wait till Willow would have a decent time to talk.
So, you've made this dinner, you know, it's all laid out. And, like, a little bit later, probably, than you expected, the door, like, opens and shuts, and you see, Willow, like, walk in. She has her head buried in, like, a notebook and is kind of, like, writing and mumbling to herself, and she just looks up and goes, "Oh, am I interrupting?"
No, I was kind of waiting for you. Am I interrupting?
No.
Who did you think was gonna be... This is your house? Our house?
I didn't know if the dinner was from... It's nice that you made dinner. Sorry. It's nice that you made dinner.
Yeah, it's for you. I did what I could since we have a little bit more food again, and it's not as scarce, so we could make something a little bit nicer and not just have gruel.
I appreciate that. She sits down and goes, "Can I ask why you made dinner?"
You seem stressed, and we may need to have a talk because we've kind of been vaguely avoiding each other. Yeah, I would say that's accurate. Like, I've been sleeping in my hammock in the living room.
I didn't assume that was because of your bad back or something. But, okay, if we want to talk now, we can talk now. What, you start.
So, I talked with Mitchell.
She kind of, like, quirks her head and just is like, about what?
Well...
Was it about Spiralix?
A little bit, they bite him a lot, he actually did say. I think he just really wants to cuddle them, and then they bite him.
Okay.
And then he pretends he's like, well, you gotta form a rapport with them.
Sorry,
I'm getting distracted.
Am I biting you in this scenario?
No, this isn't a metaphor. This is a thing that's actually happening. I'm sorry, this is hard for me. I feel like I'm not exactly sure where we stand because...
You got mad and called me like Madam Chairman and left your spear on the ground and kind of left. So I feel the same way that you feel.
Confused or hurt or both?
Both. Probably both. I don't know where we stand. You kind of implied I was a tyrannical dictator and then left last time we talked. So that's where I'm starting. That's where we're starting from.
Sometimes when you're hurt and scared and really tired, you say some things you don't fully mean, and that's not an excuse, but it was where I was at. And I don't know, Will, it felt like you didn't trust me enough to tell me you were going to be in danger, or that you were going to do something that I might not have liked. And I understand that sometimes I come on strong and I have a lot of opinions about things, but I didn't know you were doing this, and I don't know why you did it, and I'd like to know why. And I think that's where I want to start. Also, I'm sorry for being kind of a jerk. And by kind of a jerk, I mean really a jerk.
No, it's... okay, so starting with the why. I don't think we get to leave. At least I am unwilling to plan, like, we can walk away from this, and, like, this is not going to be our lives for at least a while. I don't believe we, as a group of people, have the luxury of putting off problems and thinking that someone else is going to solve them for us. I think that at times, immediate and, dare I say, unpleasant actions for some are required. I don't like that that is the case, but I'm also unsure that it ever wasn't the case. Smoky Banks has been dangerous for a long time, and a lot of us have been very willing to stick our heads in the sand and ignore that, and people died because of it. I'm not really willing to do that anymore. Now, the visuals of this are complicated for me because I'm in a relationship with you, so it might seem like I'm just doing this to defend you, but I'm not going to say that that's not a reason, but it's not the largest reason. The largest reason far more has to do with Smoky Banks is my home, and I don't want it to fall apart because of apathy. And that's what it was doing. We can't let that happen. We don't have the grace of other people near us who can support us and help us if we fail. If we fail, Smoky Banks dies. So we can't fail anymore. Not for a moment. Not ever. And I get that as to why I didn't tell you, it seemed like a burden that you did not need added to your shoulders. What I just said is not nice, and it's not your fault, and it's not your responsibility necessarily to take care of, not that it's necessarily any more mine, but you had other things on your plate, and I thought that was one that didn't need to be added at the moment, and I was concerned that you might not understand the need for immediacy the way that I did.
You're not wrong, because I still don't fully understand. But I'm willing to trust your judgment. You've lived here longer than I have. And if we're being completely honest, I've only ever had one foot here. I was halfway out the door every time I came back. And that may have made me view things with a more rose-tinted glasses when I went out to go scavenge in the wilds and do daring adventures, to think that everything here was perfect and didn't ever need to change or to have a forceful change done.
I think that's maybe what I mean, is that, like, I think you viewed Smoky Banks as a safe place to call home when you came back from whatever you were doing, and that was quickly becoming no longer a reality. So, between largely me and Matthew, and also to an extent your sister and Ruben, it became apparent that we couldn't ignore that and assume that someone else was going to make that all right.
That said, you could have told me about Lance a lot sooner.
He asked me not to. I didn't entirely understand the extent of your previous relationship. He didn't give me a name right away. I didn't exactly know who I was talking to. When I got here, there was another voice on the radio that asked me for discretion. I could understand that desire.
Yeah, I understand, and I understand not announcing it to everyone, but not even to, like, me, Willow. Like,
a friend asked me not to tell anybody, and I took that seriously.
Do you understand where I struggle? Like, I thought we were more than friends, and that at a certain point, being forthright and honest with one another.
Okay, let me ask you this. If Juliet asked you not to tell me something, not because it was like about me, but because Juliet desired privacy, would you respect Juliet's wishes for privacy or respect our desire or our assumption of openness? Do you understand what I mean here?
I do, but there's a difference between Juliet saying, don't tell Willow this, and Juliet saying, I don't want anyone to know about this.
I guess if Juliet said, I don't want anyone to know about this, would you tell other people? If she told you something in confidence?
I mean, I would consider telling the person that I trust most in the world, yeah.
It's not that I didn't trust you, it's that someone else didn't trust you, and I didn't think it was my place to make that choice for them. If you want Lance to trust you, then I think that's a conversation between you and Lance, and I want nothing to do with it, you know?
I mean, that's not the point. It's just, how do I know you're not going to hide other stuff from me that's important?
If someone asked me not to tell you, or anyone, something, and I didn't think it was for a reason of harming you, I probably wouldn't tell you. You understand what I mean? Like, if, let's say Juliet came up to me and said, hey, I want to talk to you about something and I don't want you to tell anyone else about it. It's a private thing. And it wasn't anything to do with you necessarily. I probably wouldn't tell you because Juliet specifically asked me not to tell other people about it.
Yeah, but what Lance did almost got us into a lot of danger had we not had the builder beetles. He went down into the caverns and he blew open a hole to a group of artists, is what they called themselves, who wanted to make meat puppets out of all of us. And then he got captured.
And I'm glad you helped him, but I don't know that you knew he was doing that and you could have stopped him. I could have told you that he was curious about the ruins ahead of time, but I don't think that would have stopped him from doing either of these things. But this is kind of what I mean. Like, there's parts of this that neither of us can fully control, and I don't know how then I'm supposed to handle that I can't control what Lance does.
It's more like I don't want to feel like we have to hide things from each other.
I don't try to hide things specifically from you. I understand what you're saying. Look, I understand what you're saying. I get it.
Right, and I'm not trying to be, like, belligerent. It's, like, not the fact that it's just Lance. It's more that you had opportunities to let me know these things were in the works before I didn't need the stress added.
That's true. And
the gun deal didn't come through after Lance came to town, you know?
No, I understand what you're saying.
And I understand that I'm flighty at times, and I'm working on changing that, and regardless of us maybe not ending back up on Nova Thea, I want this to be my home. I don't want to always be leaving. I don't want this to be one foot out the door. I want to be here, and I want to be with you. But that also means we have to be open with each other and okay with telling each other stuff that, like, might be inconvenient for the other person at times. Because I want to rely on you, Willow. I want you to be my support, and I want to be your support. And sometimes that means we're gonna make other people upset because we trust each other and maybe go against what they want. But also it means sometimes, like, we'll get to unburden ourselves with each other.
She kind of stares at her plate. I want all of those things as well. And I want all of those things with you. I think there is a reality that both of us have to accept, that you at times are going to put yourself, to my mind, needlessly in danger and make risks that you cannot consult me on. If you wander off into the wilds tomorrow, I'm going to have no input on what you are doing and how and why. And if you wander off into the wilds, I'm going to have to continue running this town, making deals, and not consulting you on all of them. I agree, I should have told you what I was planning. The other side of this is that you need to trust my plans when I can't include you in them. Because we're not always going to be right next to each other unless you really want to, like, really hang up the towel and just, like, I could use an assistant, it means taking a lot of notes and doing nothing else. I don't think that's what you're gonna do.
I don't think you want that from me. I think you would get annoyed with me very quickly.
I would be okay with it. No, I'd be fine, but I don't think you'd be happy, and that would make me unhappy.
I'm not asking that you can't ever make decisions without me. You are a fully independent person, and you don't need me to be complete. I just don't want you to hide stuff from me because you think it's in my best interests. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Like if I had the option to say like, hey, I need to go do this thing, it's going to be dangerous, or just run off and do it, would you prefer me to tell you? And for me, I can't make a decision for you. For me, I would like to know. I accept that you're going to be in danger. I accept that you're going to make your own decisions, and I can't control that. But I don't want to come back to town and like have this gone sideways. Like I could have come back to town to you dead. And it might have never been that big of a possibility, but you guys did a violent coup with weapons.
Oh, it was a possibility, and I think it's a possibility that you're going to run off into the wilds and get yourself killed. Let me put it to you this way. I agree. Except I probably should have told you something sooner. What I'm also saying is, probably at some point, you're going to come back to town and things are going to have changed in a way that you're not happy about. And it's going to have been because of me, and it's going to have been because I couldn't talk to you. And probably at some point you're going to have to run off into the wilds without being able to tell me first. And I understand that that might happen. And I trust that it will be because it needed to. And I will endeavor to make sure if there are times when I have to do things without consulting you, it is because I need to, and not because I think it would be easier not to.
That's all I'm asking.
That being said, if I get, like, state secrets that have top secret on them, I probably can't tell you about them.
I don't... Well, technically...
I have manila envelopes with top secret on them. Matthew loves making them.
Technically, you could tell me, since you are the like, state secrets are literally this town. Like, you're 20% of the government of this town.
Yeah, so if the other 40%, 80% found out... What I'm saying is that Ruben might have to take you out. He is our state assassin.
You know what? If he comes for me, I'll go with dignity.
I hope so.
I won't beg.
I hope so. I would hope that for you. Do you want to eat cold dinner?
Sure.
Cool, I'm throwing out your hammock, by the way.
Can you not? I need that for when I go risk my life in the wilds.
It'll be outside waiting for you.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you weren't, like, throwing it in the bin.
You need to trust that where I throw it is the best place for it to be.
She brings her in for a kiss.
She smiles as she kisses you back.
And where's the best place that I should be?
Eating cold dinner.
Cody, you know when you talk where there's a good end line and then you talk over it?
It's gonna be great because Mandy's gonna get to pick who she likes more. Cutting back to Mitchell and Estelle. All right, you are making your way towards Juliet's apartment.
No.
All right, so I've just got to... Huh?
No, Maul's place.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, so you make your way over to Maul's workshop. It's like probably 12 o'clock at night. Its doors are shut. It's dark. Mitchell's just standing there, like, kind of awkwardly, and he's just like, last time I was here like this, I was arresting Maul. It's happened more than once.
Estelle's already knocked on the door.
Oh, could you? Oh, man, okay. He just kind of, like, stands awkwardly. Do I look like I'm about to arrest some? I don't have, like, arrested you vibes right now.
Don't point the bow at her. That's...
Well, it's pointed at the ground,
Yeah, no, you're fine. I'm in front of you.
So, Juliet, I'll let you decide. Who answers the door when it knocks late at night, you or Maul?
I didn't know if Maul was even around, because she's, like, not even here half the time.
Oh, that's true, actually. Didn't she leave recently?
She's always leaving.
Ooh, I'll let you decide this. This is kind of up to you. I'll let Juliet set this.
I was kind of imagining that she was not here.
Oh, okay. So you hear knocking on your door at midnight.
I think Juliet comes to the door and she's almost like, is it Maul? Like, why would Maul be knocking?
And Estelle would definitely, like, after a few minutes be like, Juliet, it's me, it's Estelle.
I'm here too, and I'm not here to arrest you.
Yeah, so she, like, comes to the door and is like, what's wrong?
I don't know if wrong is the right word. Maybe eventually wrong. I have more information.
Is Maul okay?
I have a map. I have a map of this area. And I think I know more about what's going on with the mushroom situation, or at least something that we can work with.
Can I see the map?
Do you have a candle?
Yeah, come on in.
Yeah, so, Estelle, once we have some kind of flame, will, show Juliet how the map comes through on the paper and gives her all of the details. So I don't have to say it all again.
So this is, I think, this area, and she's like pointing to maybe like the a close area of mushrooms by a river. I was like, well, this must be what Maul saw. Unless she's gone a lot farther afield than I thought. I think, what is this? Mycelial hunters?
Well, and I will say that I don't know how to scale this is, and this was definitely done by Dr. Rees before he left. So, gosh, it's probably been about a year now. I don't know what there's no way of telling if it has continuously spread.
Or how much the landscape has changed since he made the map.
That too.
We should do some corroboration on some landmarks here and compare them to the map, have a fixed point so that we have a point of reference, and then we can go from there, measure, see if the scale changes across the map, or if it is consistent across the map. There's a lot of things here I'm interested in.
But based on the fact that this seems to be this gray bit that seems to be moving along the river, that seems to be coming towards where we seem to be.
Right.
Which, if you back that up, what concerns me is all the way back up. That goes back to what he labeled as Spore Home, death waits here.
Yes, I can see that being a problem.
Oh, not to mention, I don't remember where you said this was, Cody, but she shows her the poem bit too, whatever that is. It a poem? Whatever.
I don't know if it's technically a poem.
Yeah.
It is verses that I wrote down.
She shows her the verses with all of that information too.
So the death is its key, be made one with it, or be its unmaking. We have to stop it or it stops us. What did Dr. Rees choose? Be made one with
no idea.
Death?
No idea. I didn't have this information the last time I talked to him. What my guess is that the well that's basically due north here, I think that's where I talked to him. Or at least that's that Heart of the Wild, based on some of the wording here makes me think that that's where he was. And he seemed, I could be wrong, but he seemed to be able to go different places there.
Different places? How? What do you mean?
Well, like, he jumped into the water, and I can't remember the exact wording because it's been months now, but it sounded like it was a way to connect all of this.
The Heart of the Wild is what's drawing in all of our planets. Novathea, Lance's world, all the places Maul's been.
It's like the center is what it sounded like.
And we're swirling around in a vortex.
As much as land can.
Right. All right.
I think we've got a lot of... I think the first step is exactly what you were saying, is that we need to figure out if, based on this map, what seems to be moving toward us is actually moving toward us.
Right. Do we think the Forest Phantom is related to this too? Was he talking with the Forest Phantom?
He was talking with the Forest Phantom. I do not know what to think about her. The last time I heard about her, Maul said that she saw the Phantom out in the wilds before we went down into the caves and said she seems to be blooming and she says she has nothing to do with this, but it certainly feels like she does if she's changing the way that it sounds like she is.
She's connected to it somehow.
Yeah, because she's been getting, like, sharper every time we
get closer to the heart, right?
Or we've been changing, yeah.
Have you ever talked to her about Dr. Reese before?
No, I haven't seen her since... I don't think I've seen her. Maybe I have. No. I don't think I've spoken to her since before the long walk.
Should we try to talk to her again about Reese? Or is that not...
No, I think that's... I think that's gonna... That's my other thing, is we need... Like, I would love to go straight to what's labeled as the well, which is where I think he might be. But I kind of want to... Yeah, I think if we can go talk to... if we can see if we can find the Forest Phantom and see if we can find out more about what's going on and if she actually does know something, considering everything. Yeah, I would love to have a little chat with her.
Well, I'm already up, and the Forest Phantom seems to like to talk at night, so...
I was gonna say, I think the last time we spoke was at night.
Are you coming with, Mitchell?
Are you guys going to go and try to talk to a tree ghost?
Have you seen the Forest Phantom yet?
No.
Okay.
But,
It's an experience.
hang on. And he goes and, like, goes back into the shop and goes, hang on, I know where Maul has, she has, like, this hidden area where she keeps things that she thought I thought was illegal. And he, like, goes, like, into one of the floorboards and, like, steps twice, and then, like, a secret hatch opens. And he, like, rummages around and gets out, like, a weird-looking lantern thing, and she's like, she called this a seance lantern. I don't know if it's real or not, but we could light it, I guess.
What else is there?
What's your intent with that?
She says it summons ghosts. She got in trouble once for selling this to kids, alright? So she had to start hiding it from me.
Do you think it's real?
I think, Juliet, everything is real, alright? I have seen so many weird things. Of course it's real. Or it's not. But I'm open to the idea. Do you think it's not real? You're talking about talking to a forest ghost. And then he, like, clicks the button on this thing, and it's like a ghost. And it goes, ooh! It might work. I'm willing to try it. Turns it off.
Sure, if we
I'm bringing it.
last ditch effort there, pull that out.
Julia wants to see what else is down there.
Why would you do this to me? So you, like, reach in there and you pull out two, like, hand shock things. You're like, it shocks you when it shakes your hand, and one of them says real, the other one says danger, fake. And then you pull out, like, it looks like a voodoo doll or whatever, you know, like a little, like, thing with, like, needles, but it's, like, way too much looks like shriveled flesh. Like, you're looking at it going, like, some of that's real. And then you just pull out a large raptor hand, basically. Like, a lizard hand that is, like, as long as your forearm, with, like, claws on it, and it isn't fossilized. It's preserved.
Right.
She said that was a dragon foot.
I believe it's the foot of something. She said she spent some time with lizard people. Did she ever talk about that?
To me? No. Also, I'm sorry I arrested your girlfriend so much, but she sort of deserved it when she was scamming people a lot, so, you know, but I feel a little bit bad about it now.
Well, your relationship is what it is, and I'm not really a part of that. So I'm just saying, I think this is from the lizard folk.
Why is it? Doesn't matter. Let's go, I guess. So I'm curious, as the game master, how do you guys summon the forest phantom? Besides, like, going out there with, like, a Halloween decoration and hitting it and going, ooh!
I think it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, we're going to do this. And then you get there and it's like the woods are kind of silent and you're like, I was kind of hoping she would show up. And so I think Juliet and maybe Estelle are just kind of like standing in a little clearing, waiting.
The first time she really spoke to us, it was in like a church, like a old abandoned church. When was the other time that she's talked with us?
She's talked to you in your dreams. She's talked to you at campfires before.
Okay.
Always.
Yeah, Juliet was like on watch at a campfire and she appeared to her.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Typically at night, yeah.
Yeah. So I think we stay more around like the ruins, maybe like the very edge of the ruins. Cause I do agree with Mitchell. I don't think we should go out too far. It is midnight and we're not like actively prepared to go out. I think after a little bit, maybe we try setting up a campfire. That's every time I can remember talking to her.
That's as good idea as any I've had. Juliet starts gathering sticks.
Yeah, I think we set up a campfire.
So you set up a little campfire and you're sitting there and the evening gets pretty quiet. You know, the insects kind of leave you alone as the firelight glows. You can hear things moving out in the darkness. You occasionally see eyes shifting past. But you're in the shadow of the ruins, and as you sit there in the dark, the sound gets very quiet and then changes. You can hear rustling on the ground as like it sounds like wind kicking up dried leaves. You can kind of feel like a barometric pressure, you know, like when a storm's coming in. And you feel that like shift. The buildings around you kind of grow gloomier and more cast in the shadows of this flickering firelight as the hues of the stone around you become greener and greener and more vibrant. The smell around you becomes that smell of like forest floor decay, but then also like growing plants and fresh rain on decay growing new life. As you feel what you felt before when the forest phantom gets closer, and as you look around, the ruins around you feel like they've shifted, like they've become something totally different. As you're staring into like a yawning opening of stone, cut meticulously and square, grown over with bright, vibrant green moss. The entranceway in front of you doesn't remind you of the architecture of the ruins, but is certainly old and doesn't lead to a building stretching up, but rather leads to this ornate entrance to something leading down. Far away, you hear a thump, thump, thump in your head, like the beating of a heart. And in front of you, you can not see into the darkness, but feel in that darkness something waiting for you. Thanks for listening to this episode of Wanderlust. Music for this show is credited down below. If you like this campaign, you can find more of our shows at the Wandering Gamer website or on Podbean. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links in the description. Now bear in mind, in the wilds, some wander to get lost, and some wander to find themselves.